Good morning. Ron Clark grew up in a small town in North Carolina. And when he graduated college, he wanted to go out and see the world. He wanted out of that town. So he started backpacking all over Europe, and he had an incredible time. He was just by himself, but that's how he liked it. Traveling by himself to go and see so many wonderful places in history. One of his favorite places was Transylvania. He had such a good time, but after a while, he decided to come back home for a little bit to see his mother, kind of get everything grouped, and then head back out again. But when he got back home and he was there with his mom in this little town, the fifth grade elementary teacher died. And not having a lot of places to turn, the school knew, well, Ron is at home, he's unencumbered, and they went to him and said, "Would you mind filling in with the fifth grade class until the end of the year?" And Ron agreed. But when he started teaching those fifth graders, he was hooked. He enjoyed it. He found more meaning in doing that than anything he had done in a long time. So he agreed to stay on the next year. And that turned into a third year, and a fourth year, and a fifth year. He loved teaching, and he loved teaching fifth graders. But it was that year that he saw an ad for a school in Harlem, advertising and saying, "We're looking for qualified teachers, and we need desperate help." And Ron felt that God was speaking to him. So he got in his car, left North Carolina, drove to New York, and there he went and applied for the job. And he got it. Now, he didn't have a whole lot of money. He checked into the YMCA, and that's where he first started living until he could find a place that he could afford on his own. No, he had found out that he was being assigned to this fifth grade class, and it had 27 students. Out of those 27 students, all 27 had failed the math and the English competency test in the fourth grade. And since they had failed math and English competency test, they were promoted to the fifth grade. Go figure. Well, he took over that class, and he started trying to let the kids know why he was there, because he cared about them. In the end, he got a second job to be able to make a little money, and making that extra money, he was able to start taking the kids on some field trips, helping them see some things there in New York they would not otherwise be able to see. He started going to their homes on the weekends to see where they were living, to see what they were doing on the weekends. He just helped the kids to understand he really cared about them. He set high goals. He had expectations. When they achieved them, he praised them. When they failed from them, he let them know about it. He worked with those kids passionately on their lives and what they were doing. They knew the expectations, and that year it was amazing what happened to them. At the end of the year, when they took their math and English competency test, they passed the fifth grade math and English competency test, and their scores were higher than the gifted class. 24 of these 27 students excelled in an incredible way. Why? Because somebody showed they loved them, and they set high expectations for them, and they encouraged them. And I couldn't help but think that's exactly what Jesus did for his disciples. He took very average people, fishermen, tax collectors, and there he set high goals for them. He had expectations, and he loved them, and he encouraged them, and the things that they would be able to achieve. It's what he did 2,000 years ago, but it's what he still does for us today, to help us to understand who we are called to be as God's children, to have those expectations, and it's God's grace that loves us and helps us and sets us free. I hope that today you'll see God's hands working in your life, helping you to be that special person you have been called to be. Have a great day.